Hello, everybody, and welcome back to reviewing every single WrestleMania main event in history. Today, we are on episode 10, reviewing WrestleMania 10, not Ty Dellinger. In the main event, we saw Bret Hart take on Yokozuna for the WWE Championship in a rematch from last year's WrestleMania. As we saw in WrestleMania 9's review, that wasn't technically the main event. Hogan versus Yokozuna was. So this time, they decided, let's do it the right way this time. Other than that, I have no idea of what goes on in this match, so I'm going to be watching it for the very first time and giving you my very raw reactions to it after I've seen the match. Everybody, just got finished watching the match, and I will say, this one could sneak into the top 5. I don't know. Definitely not 1 through 4, but it could be debatable for number 5. There are a couple of preliminaries before the match even began. The guest timekeeper and ring announcer are introduced to be actors Jenny Garth and Burt Reynolds. Then Burt Reynolds, who's the announcer, introduces the special guest referee, Rowdy Roddy Piper, 9 years removed from main eventing WrestleMania 1, which they mentioned on commentary. Go watch that video if you haven't. So before the bell even rings, Yoko attacks Bret after both men had had matches earlier in the night. Yoko defending Bret facing off against his brother Owen in the show's opener, and Yokozuna defending his title against the other co-winner of the 1994 Royal Rumble, Lex Luger. Yoko takes control for most of this beginning sequence, but when he goes for a splash, Bret's able to move out of the way, and Yoko lands straight on his face, so Bret's able to take control for the moment. Bret has Yoko beat. Yoko is done, but Jim Cornette, who has accompanied Yoko to the ring as his English translator, pulls Roddy outside of the ring so he can't count the fall. Roddy says, socks Cornette straight in the face and knocks him out. So Mr. Fuji is like, oh, shoot, he's done. You good? Yoko does take control after that for about 5 minutes, but he misses a splash in the corner and gets really stunned. Bret hops up onto that corner, does a bulldog from the top rope for a very close near fall. It's 1, 2, kick out. Right when I'm here is the kick out. It's really well done by Yoko, and he does that a few times in this match, and is pretty good at doing those really quick kickouts. Speaking of quick actions relating to a cover, Bret does a lot of quick covers, but Yoko's able to kick out of each and every one. Bret goes up top for a crossbody, but Yoko's able to catch him and deliver a Uranagi, giving Yoko the advantage. Yoko drags him over to the... Almost fell out of my chair. Yoko drags him over to the corner to set up for the bonsai drop, but Bret's able to roll out of the way as Yoko doesn't go for the maneuver, but loses his balance. Yoko just falls. He's set up in the corner. He's ready to perform the move. He, puts his hands up to, wave at the crowd. He's like, oh, shoot, and falls right on his butt. But Bret is able to move out of the way, sees the opportunity right in front of him, climbs over, covers him, and since Yoko hit his head, which was really damaged in the match with Luger, he's not able to kick out, and Bret wins the WWF, at the time, championship. Yoko chases after Piper, who counted the fall, obviously, and they both run off outside and back to backstage, but Bret stays in the ring, and he's, really tired when he picks it up. He's sitting there, title, and that shot of him holding it up while kind of looking like a beaver comes from this match. A bunch of people come out to celebrate, including Lex Luger, who comes out first, kind of stares at Bret, looks at the title in his hands, puts his hand out, they shake hands. They're blue-eyed baby faces. They are good friends with each other. And some other people who come out are Razor Ramon, Roddy Piper comes back, Yokozuna just disappears, Tatanka, for some reason, 1-2-3 Kid, also known as X-Pac, Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, and both of the commentators. They just leave. They just leave their post and just chill up there with Bret. Then, lastly, to close out the show, Owen Hart slowly kind of stumbles out, and he's staring at Bret, points at him, says something, pretty loud, but I can't discern what it is, and then sulks off as the show goes off the air with Bret celebrating on Luger and I think Razor's shoulders. This match was pretty good, and I'm going to be putting it in the number 5 slot in my top 5. I do think it is a bit better than the Slaughter match because there's a lot of quality, and the storytelling, well, not as good because there was a lot of storytelling in WrestleMania 7 main event, is decent enough, and the in-ring work is much better, especially with Bret in there, and Yoko's able to hold his own, especially with the kickouts. The new listing is 654-810 in the best matches list from 1st to 5th. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out other videos in the series, past or present or future, because there will be more coming out after this one. Make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, good whatever, and goodbye.